The first 3 things a female notices in a man.
Not interested. Anyways, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Argabana, aka REacts, back in here with another reaction video. Today, we got a crazy ass video to react to. We got your boy, Mr. Gherbo.
Bitch, you start shutting the fuck up.
Mr. Herbie G.
If you don't hear what I'm saying.
Mr. Herbert, Mr. Walk Like This. Mr. Walk bow-legged backwards. Yeah, that light-skinned nigga from OBE. Yeah, we got a weird ass video to go ahead to react to from your boy Trap Lord Walk. Ain't gonna do too much talking. Hey man, I appreciate for the 404 subs. We're officially now on the road to 500 subs. You feel? Let's get that by. Yeah, let's get that by the end of next month. You feel me? I believe we can do it. But let's put all the talking. Let's go ahead and get into the video. You here?
75th to 79th Streets, being so dangerous and gang-infested that it's literally nicknamed Terror Town. The area, particularly 79th Street, has spawned some of the biggest Chicago rappers who avoided gangs. You may be surprised to find out that one of the most successful musicians and entrepreneurs of our generation, Kanye West, grew up in a childhood home only minutes away from Terror Town. And despite later in his career claiming to be affiliated with the Gangsta Disciples, Kanye actually had early lyrics where he discussed encountering black peace stones in the neighborhood and having to go by a nickname so they would leave him alone. And Kanye would even bring rap legend Jay-Z back to the area many years later. But when it comes to the most famous name in the rap game associated with the No Limit gang in Terror Town, we're of course talking about Gherbo, formerly known as Lil Herb. Herbo would meet fellow No Limit drill legend Lil Bibby at a local youth center.
If y'all ain't know, one of his first rap names was actually when I first started listening to Gherbo, he was going by Lil Herb. But before he went by Lil Herb, I think his name was Lil Heron or some shit like that. But before he started going by Lil Herb, it was Lil Heron. Him and Lil Baby, I think they went to the same middle school and they started playing basketball together. And then that's how they got close. And then folks started rapping. Then folks went off. I ain't gonna lie, me personally, my favorite song by both of them is probably Kill Shit. You know what I'm saying? And I make bands about some Ray bands on some cool shit. But now it's back to some driller shit. Got a couple hoes that are driller bitch.
After school. Together, Herbo and Bibby would spark a friendship, eventually becoming collaborators and putting their block on the map as far as drill music is concerned. Lil Bibby made big moves in the music industry through both the booth and the boardroom, eventually partnering up with his brother G Money and starting the record label Grade A Productions, playing a big role in bringing top-tier talent like Juice WRLD and the Kid Laroi to the forefront of music. But away from the music and back to the streets, another famous name you might associate with No Limit is Cairo, an outspoken affiliate who will play a major part in the beef as this story develops. And another name from the streets that you might know from the music is Mad Max, aka C Money or Killer Chris. He's possibly the most active killer in the street.
That's why you got that C Money Green Trackhawk. That's why the room C Money Green right now.
Side of this story, becoming infamous in both the streets and on the internet for allegedly being a fearless shooter who claimed the lives of numerous enemies. Now, as far as the streets goes, there were allegedly 2 main leaders of No Limit back in the early days. Rumored to be a direct relative of Blackstone Rangers founder Eugene Bull Hairston, G-Bull was from 78th Street, one of 2 commanding members of No Limit who apparently played a role in mentoring the likes of Lil Bibby, White Sean and G Money, with another gang leader by the name of G Gill, hailing from 79th Street, commanding another set of the younger generation of No Limit, mentoring the likes of G Mainsky, Gherbo, Jock, and Mad Max himself, who would post publicly on Instagram about coming up under G Gill. Other important names associated with the No Limit movement who you might hear mentioned in this story include Pharaoh, Lil Wet, aka Wet 'em Up, and Crazy James. There's quite literally dozens of people who claim No Limit publicly, with some estimates of its membership online suggesting that the gang is 200 people strong. It would be difficult to identify and name every member here, and that's really not something I'm trying to do right now. But
right, man. Hey, man, get over east. Go mess with Drench now.
That's a selection of some of the most important names who you'll be hearing about over the course of this story. The fact that No Limit is such a large gang is perhaps the reason that the crew was able to survive at such a long war with so many enemies. Gherbo had started out rapping, just recording little 60-second songs on his flip phone, and this was something he had apparently been encouraged to do by his fellow No Limit homie Lil Bibby. Lil Bibby and Gherbo met in a youth group that they were forced to attend in order to keep out of trouble, and after sparking up a shared love of music, Bibby would later take Gherbo to a studio on 79th and Duella to record professional standard music, with this experience ultimately leading them to make many songs together. Lil Herb, as he was known then, and Lil Bibby would have their first Chicago drill hit on August 5th, 2012, when they uploaded their song Kill Shit to YouTube. That song today has over 50 million views on YouTube and over 20 million streams on Spotify. Kill Shit was a breakthrough moment for No Limit in the rap game, and Gherbo and Bibby would be putting their whole crew on the map. They had lyrics referencing the grimy life that they had lived in Terrortown. The track had Gherbo rapping about how he knows people ready to do homicides. He raps that the gang No Limit are 30 years running and 30 years gunning. He shout-outs 150, another name for the rock block, which would become a frequent quotable in Gherbo's music. Bibby would show love to rock on the track.
And don't even care. I cash out till I pass out. Got a couple jewels on even well. In the game, pitch I do my thing, whole scream my name, I ain't even out. One verbal, I do this. Look, you bitch wetter than a pool pit. And I make bands like I make friends on some Ray Bans on some cool shit. But now it's back to some killer shit. Got a couple of old that are killer bitch. 30 years, more than 30 years, and we still a shit.
I cook a nigga like steak and rice and put it on the battlefield. But making niggas ass do 40 flips.
MOB on love a hoe, I'ma beat his way to
Tone 46. Matter of fact, till a nigga die, smokes kush blunts till a nigga cry. And I understand that's how I get alive.
Never snitch on a nigga dry.
Yeah, that's how a nigga die. Stop playing. That's that, man. Y'all better get in tune.
And vowing to shoot at his ops, claiming his affiliation to No Limit in numerous lyrics, and dropping bars where he claims that he will shoot their ops off of their porches. Bibby even goes as far as to say RIP the police, and saying that his team are cop killers, perhaps an earlier reference to No Limit members claiming to be CPDK after the death of Zale. These violent and grimy rap verses, combined with a banging 2012 era Chicago drill beat, cemented Kill Shit as a hit. One of the founding tracks of the Chicago drill movement, which up until that point in 2012 had been dominated by Black Disciple rappers like Chief Keef. The success of Kill Shit would bring a taste of legitimate passive income to the young members of the No Limit crew, with the rap game emerging as one of the first opportunities to break the cycle and see some success outside of the dangerous streets of Terrortown. Some would be able to get out that way, but others might not be able to take the same route. And
y'all know what snitches get, No Limit shit. We with the shit, I'm focused on getting rich. MOB, forget a bitch.
Right after I hit the bitch. I be water whipping shit. Flip it, whip, Gordon, whip it. With the straight drop. Stop playing.
So, in spite of positive signs in music, the remainder of 2012 would be incredibly rough for the No Limit Muskegon boys. After meeting at a youth centre and bonding over their shared love of the rap game, Gherbo and Lil Bibby had risen to prominence off the back of their street anthem Kill Shit, the landmark Chicago drill track that put the No Limit rappers from Terrortown firmly on the map and up there with the greats of Chicago drill like Chief Keef and Lil Reese. And while tragedy continued to strike in the streets, Gherbo would continue to put his pain into music, using his art to memorialise his fallen friends. His fallen friend G Fazo was immortalized forever in the title of his first mixtape, 2013's Road to Fazo.
That's what we call FO1s. We call them G-Fazos.
Land, and his first full-length debut project, Welcome to Fazoland, which dropped on February the 17th, 2014. Also in 2014, Gherbo would get his first taste of success in the mainstream music industry, when he was featured on Nicki Minaj's underground hit Chirac, a tribute song to the violent underworld of Chicago. Nicki Minaj seems to really get into it, and on the track she even claims to be EBK or Everybody Killer. Meanwhile, Gherbo's verse on the song was full of grimy references to life in Terrortown. His iconic hook on the song saw him rapping that he knows a couple guys down for a homicide, and elsewhere on the song shouting out rock block. Off the back of this song, Nicki Minaj would give Gherbo an enormous opportunity to perform at Summer Jam, his first chance getting up in front of thousands of fans on stage. Gherbo would go on to say that it was this period that changed his life, but all of the added attention of being a poppin' rapper in the rap game wasn't without its headaches. Around this time, Gherbo would be forced to deny that NLMB was a gang, with him doing mainstream interviews with rap publications like XXL, where he would sidestep sidestep any affiliations with Chicago's criminal underworld, telling the magazine that Terrortown was a war zone growing up, but the NLMB had stood for Never Leave My Brothers. And it would make sense that G Herbo would want to distance himself from the gangs in Chicago. A mass shooting in a Terrortown laundromat on June the 3rd, 2014 put the warring Black Peace Stones in the media spotlight once again. A gunman had allegedly walked up to a strip mall and fired into the crowd, wounding 6 people including 14 and 16-year-old boys, with a 41, 42 and 52-year-old being shot in the arms and legs, and a 27-year-old woman also being shot in the leg. Hell, this shooting was so bad a woman even injured her toe just trying to run away. The police at the time explained that they knew that this was a war between factions of the Gangster Disciples and the Black Peace Stones, describing this rivalry as one of the most violent in the city. Now, there wasn't any evidence linking these incidents to G Herbo or No Limit, but it's natural that his affiliations would come back to haunt him as he made a name for himself in the legitimate music industry. In fact, it seemed as if Lil Bibby had also realized that in order to make a legitimate name in the music industry, one's old gang affiliations might just become a liability. And following the success of Kill Shit, Lil Bibby's rap career flourished too. Story goes is that when Bibby was still in the streets, he was much more concerned with making money than killing ops. And this mentality seemed to translate into his music as well. His 3-installment mixtape series Free Crack alluded to themes of drug dealing and hustling that has been one of the most famous tropes of popular rappers in rap history. And Lil Bibby had an exceptional run in the rap game. And off the back of that, he eventually realized that there was much more money to be made in the boardroom than in the booth, with Bibby eventually setting his sights on bringing through the next generation of successful musicians from his city, with Bibby famously discovering Chicago rapper-singer Juice WRLD and signing him to his label in 2017. But that would be a few years away at this point. But still, it's believed that around this time, Lil Bibby was already distancing himself of the street ties from his past. And apparently this even ruffled a few feathers, because in June 2014, G Herbo would drop his song Just Bars, which features a lyric where Herb says that he will never leave his brothers, but someone else got on and forgot their homies, with Cairo from No Limit revealing many years later that Herbo was sneak dissing Bibby with this lyric, saying that Herbo was mad that Bibby left the gang behind after getting his record deal.
Bibby got signed first. Oh, he got in his feelings about some shit. He branched off on the guys. So now it's just Herb left, you know? Bibby already said he's separating himself. He on some commercial shit already. He made the song Just Bars, Sneak This Bibby.
Apparently around this time, unlike Bibby, G Herbo would remain in Terrortown, and the majority of the NLMB members felt that he was representing them in his music. And over the course of the rest of 2014, Herbo and other No Limit affiliates would drop songs referencing goings-on in the streets. On July the 6th, 2014, EBK Juvie drops Pistol Gang, a track dedicated to fallen member Pistol P, with lyrics also referencing Bud and Lolo, as well as shouting out Bibby and Herbo's mixtape titles, and even having a lyric where he says that Mad Max will come and kill people, and saying that they will do your mans like they did Jordan. Then on August the 24th, G Herbo drops a remix to Bobby Shmurda's Hot Boy. In the music video, Herbo is seen on the block surrounded by No Limit goons, and on the track he says a lot of incriminating things, like that he used to pop people before rap, saying G Mainski taught him to use others to do hits for him, and he says check the news, somebody went to sleep for Kobe. And in what might be yet another sneak diss towards Lil Bibby, Herbo claimed not to care about record deals. He would shout out VO and Pistol P, and as the year went on, Herbo would continue to honour his fallen friends in his projects. Of course, there was the Pistol P project in December 2014, and of course the Ballin' Like I'm Kobe mixtape dedicated to Kobe. In the years where Lil Bibby tried to step away from the streets and towards the music industry to become a legitimate entrepreneur, G Herbo seemed to take the opposite approach, proudly displaying his gang affiliations in his songs and music videos, with very little care to presenting a commercial and polished image to the music industry. And in a way this worked for him, because while Lil Bibby was burrowing behind the scenes of the rap game, trying to make a bag without it all being about him and his music, G Herbo was becoming the face of Terrortown, carving a place out for himself in the Chicago drill Mount Rushmore. But the only problem was, eventually G Herbo would need to stay away from the streets and soften up his image, if not for the money, then for survival. But the sad truth is that the killers and shooters who stood by Little Herb, while Lil Bibby supposedly left his brothers behind, would wind up being extra hurt when G Herbo ended up doing the same. And naturally, in the years that went by, more and more bloodshed in Terrortown meant that those brothers who did get left behind would only take things more and more personally.
I just gotta say, man, look, when you get on, it ain't all about just like leaving everybody behind and doing this and doing that. It's about getting on and staying on. When you get on, folks, don't be on no over high head shit. Especially if you go real mainstream, don't be on no over high head shit, G. Get your money, try to get your homies on the same page you doing, and get going, you know, because you ain't gonna do nothing. Everybody staying in the same hood. They know where you at. You doing all this mainstream shit, come back to the hood. That's how niggas get clapped.
G. Gherbo had been going through a lot over these years. While the No Limit soldiers went through some of the hardest battles on the streets, G. Gherbo had become a successful rapper, moving far away from the violence of the inner city and constant danger of Terror Town gang wars. But that doesn't mean he didn't continue to struggle with the ups and downs of personal life. And clearly living in constant fear of deadly attack from gang rivals would lead him and his inner circle to continue taking risks. And unfortunately, he would face the consequences of taking those risks. On the 22nd of February 2018, G. Gherbo was arrested alongside two other people after their limo driver tipped off the police to the fact that the passengers had illegal firearms. At about 10:30 p.m, police would pull over the limo in the first block of East Roosevelt Road in the South Loop neighborhood. Officers would find a Glock under the seat of one of the members of the entourage, with another man being found with a gym bag containing a loaded pistol and 21 rounds in a magazine. But to make matters even worse, police officers claimed to have observed G. Gherbo placing a gun in the seat pocket directly in front of him, with that gun found to have contained an extended clip with 30 rounds of body armor piercing bullets. In court, Gherbo's lawyer pleaded with the judge that he has no violent background, no prior arrests, and a fiancée that's 8 months pregnant. Gherbo would ultimately be charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, being released on $25,000 bail. Gherbo would later strike a deal with prosecutors, pleading guilty to one count of misdemeanor carrying.
That's that bail he was talking about in that song when he said, "And I always had cheese, that's the fact that they hate it." I know exactly, that's that bond he talking about when he said he got out and they was mad that he had money to get out and they probably did. I'm gonna say this, Herb, ain't gonna lie, Herb got it easy in Iraq because everybody mess with him. It ain't nobody publicly that don't really mess with him. For every gang, well, I ain't gonna say every gang, but every gang like noticeable to the eye, they mess with Herb. He can go down there, go on any block. Everybody gonna mess with him. It's Herb. Who not gonna mess with him? That's why you got so many songs with so many Chicago niggas from different hoods.
A firearm, winding up with a sentence of just 2 years probation and a $494 fine. Gherbo would later elaborate on his mindset during this period, telling Adam 22 of No Jumper that you can't expect people not to carry guns when they live in constant fear of being robbed and killed.
And I might get killed for having on a nice hoodie, a nice jacket, so if I got a gun, I ain't supposed to protect myself. I'm a bad guy, I'm a thug, I'm a gangster now. But this the life that we brought up to. And then I can't blame the person who's trying to rob me for my $1,000 coat, because he can't get a job. The 30 kept me alive, you know what I'm saying? I love Chicago, I love my 30. When I got arrested for that gun, you know, people, the police and a lot of people, like, they was upset. Like, some police out to get me or whatever wanted me to be in that situation. Some people was upset that I even put myself in that situation because they knew I had to be in that situation. They know what we up against in Chicago, and they know why people got to carry firearms to protect themselves. So they like, damn, you let them people trick you. And you supposed to hire armed security, because they ain't saying nothing about me not having a gun. They know I'm supposed to have a gun on me. They know somebody will try to kill me. They know somebody will try to rob me. They know what I'm up against.
Gherbo makes a good point, and it really shows the difficult situation that he was in after becoming so successful and getting away of the violence in Terror Town. And fortunately, moving on from that charge, Gherbo's career would go from strength to strength. The collaborative album Swervo with producer Southside landed him at number 15 on the charts, with that being followed by a sequel called Still Swervin', which charted at number 41. Even if things were good on the charts, sadly, all wasn't sweet in Gherbo's household. And after settling that gun charge and putting that firmly behind him, in 2019, Gherbo would be embroiled in yet another scandal, this time for accusations of domestic violence. On April the 12th, 2019, footage would surface claiming to depict a physical altercation between G. Gherbo and the mother of his child, Ari Fletcher, at their son's birthday party. Apparently earlier in the evening things had seemed friendly between the two, but later footage appeared to depict a much more heated altercation outside, with Fletcher appearing to assault Gherbo. Gherbo would later claim that Ari Fletcher had actually stolen a large amount of his jewelry.
Man, this bitch took my fucking jewelry. Bitch, you had my jewelry since your son's 6 fucking month party at my mama's house. You stole it out my mama room. I've been quiet all this time. I ain't do no insurance claim. Try to get you locked up, nothing. You told me to come to Atlanta to get my jewelry back, you lame ass bitch. You still got 300,000 worth of shit. You got all my Cubans. No, she got 300, dude. My chains.
A week after the birthday party incident, news would surface that G. Gherbo had actually been arrested for battery after Fletcher accused him of beating her in front of their child. Ari Fletcher would take to social media detailing her claims of abuse at the hands of G. Gherbo, saying he kicked down the door, had his child taken away in a car by a friend, and proceeded to trash the house and beat her severely. With Gherbo's dramatic arrest on April the 17th, 2019, captured on police body cam video, later being released to the public.
What's going on?
My baby father.
Where is he? that for my son?
On foot? Car?
No, he in there in a white Tahoe truck.
I'm finna talk to you. Just
okay, give me my kid.
Give me the child. So what's going on? I can't. No problem.
He beat the fuck out of me. That's clear as day. My ass hurting and black. I'm beat the fuck up. Ain't no decided to win. His ass going to jail. It's over with, bitch. You done. Stupid. And bitch, I'm slapping your fat ass too for driving off in the car with my son.
Come on, go inside.
Y'all know not to play with me. What's he driving?
How'd you get all those?
Cause he dragged me. He punched me in my eye. That's what my fucking happened.
Bro, really, motherfuckers really know Ari from being in for Adriana's. If y'all know what Adriana's at, y'all better do y'all homework for that was popping back then. For I was too young to go in, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Black. He spit on me. Anything, the fucking worst shit you could think of, he just did to me.
What the fuck do she want from me, bro? We with different people, everything.
If you want to get stuff back from her at this point, you need to go to court, take her to court.
Trying to fight wild. She wild as hell.
I know how.
She hit her own stupid ass eye, pulling out knives and shit while I'm holding my son. I just had to run out. Literally, she charged at me with a knife while I got your son in my hand.
Huh?
Did you see the handgun? He had a massive handgun in the back of his back.
Yeah, so I don't know if they pulled it out already. We got the call about the gun, so yeah.
On January the 6th, 2020, G Gherbo would plead guilty to the charge of misdemeanor battery, with him being sentenced to 12 months probation, 150 hours of community service, and a family violence intervention course. But at least Gherbo had accepted the situation, and in 2020, he would be attempting to move forward as a better man and better rapper. On February the 28th, 2020, he'd release his fifth album, PTSD. The project was themed around the pain and trauma that he had experienced in the streets, with a poignant cover art depicting Gherbo holding a blood-soaked and bullet-holed American flag with the stars replaced by faces of friends he had sadly lost. And Gherbo would explain to Hip Hop DX that this introspective album was inspired by his own experiences receiving court-ordered therapy following his 2018 arrest, with him eventually being clinically diagnosed as having PTSD, a result of all of the trauma he had witnessed and experienced in the streets. PTSD, the album, was an enormous success for G Gherbo, peaking at number 7 on the Billboard 200, his best album performance to date and his first top 10, with the lead single from the album also called PTSD, a star-studded cut featuring the likes of Chance the Rapper, Lil Uzi Vert, and a posthumous appearance from Juice WRLD, would earn Gherbo his first Billboard entry for a single song on the Hot 100 charts, coming in at number 38. And in a further commitment to the themes of self-reflection on this album, in July 2020, Gherbo would announce that he was launching an initiative called Swerving Through Stress, aiming to help young black people access therapy. Clearly, Gherbo was learning from his past, and the self-reflection of therapy appeared to be a positive influence on his life. But likely another positive aspect was distancing himself from the people and situations that had brought about all this trauma to begin with Gherbo later telling Adam 22 that he had to cut people off and distance himself from those people to get away from the streets, suggesting that he is just too tempted to get involved when they phone him looking for help, so he just stopped answering.
There's a lot of people are kind of stuck in this like prison of who they're around, and they feel like they can't break away from that.
So I done got into it with my best of friends when I wasn't in the streets, because I'm loyal to a fault. A phone call, just something as simple as a phone call, could pull me right back into that environment. So I had to cut ties completely. Right. You know how hard that was for me.
Despite Gherbo's claims of improving his inner circle, this wouldn't end up being completely successful. And by the end of 2020, he would find himself in legal hot water once again. Apparently, the direct result of the company he was keeping. Because in December 2020, G Gherbo was charged as part of a $1.5 million fraud scheme, with him and 5 members of his entourage accused of using stolen credit cards and IDs to fund a luxurious lifestyle, including spending on private jets, expensive vacation, and even the purchase of designer puppies, apparently totaling a theft of $1.5 million over the course of 4 years. Gherbo would be charged with 14 counts of aggravated identity theft and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. But from there, matters would only get worse, as in May 2021, Gherbo...
What the fuck is designer puppies, man?
Gherbo would be charged with additional counts of making false statements to a federal agent, with Gherbo allegedly lying, saying that he didn't know promoter Antonio Strong, despite evidence allegedly proving that Strong had paid for multiple private flights, luxury hotels, and exotic car rentals as part of the fraud. For the record, G Gherbo has pled not guilty to these charges in mid-2021, and despite things not looking good, this situation is still unresolved. Gherbo would appear to deny being fraudulent in lyrics on his song Statement, a song that actually came from his latest full-length release, release, his album 25, which is a great piece of work and is crammed full of insights into the war in Terrortown, particularly his relationship and past with No Limit top shooter Mad Max, with Gherbo rapping on the song 2 Chainz that Max was killing people and didn't know how to stop, with Gherbo going on to say that now he's a millionaire he doesn't need to kill people anymore, as well as one of my favourite songs of Gherbo's entire catalogue, Drill featuring Rowdy Rebel, where Gherbo compared Mad Max's killing ability in the streets with playing the video game Call of Duty, suggesting that Mad Max had 50 kills. His 6th album 25 was a massive success, breaking his previous chart record for PTSD, earning Gherbo his first top 5 album on the Billboard 200. Add that to the fact that at the end of 2021, Gherbo would appear on the All-Star remix to the street anthem Who Wants Smoke by Nardo Wick alongside Lil Durk and 21 Savage, landing Gherbo his highest entry on the Billboard Hot 100, with the song coming in at number 17. Ultimately, Gherbo did escape the streets, getting fame and fortune and the possibility of escaping the danger of Terrortown with his life intact, an outcome that so many of his friends would not be fortunate enough to have. But whilst Gherbo was living it up as a successful rapper, many of those friends who he left behind would grow bitter and resentful against him for not doing more to use his newfound success to help them out. But with Herbo's help or not, one thing's for sure, back in Terrortown, there would be no respite for those gang members still left behind there, constantly battling for control of the streets and 75th to 70th.
Hey man, I'm keeping a butt with y'all for, man. Yeah, I don't think he wrong for going, you know what I'm saying? Because if you see that your homie on, you still want to be on high head shit in the hood and shit like that, you know it's gonna mess up his career or something. And you know what I'm saying? What you want him to do? Like I'm trying to get everybody on, but y'all want to be high heads in the streets and all that. You feel what I'm saying? So he did what he was supposed to do. He got his bread and got the fuck on. I don't blame him nor Bibby. You feel me? If you want to get your bread and trying to put everybody else on, but everybody not on the same type of time you on, then hey, by all means catch a flight, hop out. I'll let you later, player. That's it though. Anyways, hey man, I appreciate all the love, man. We have 404 subscribers, man. Let's go ahead and make it to 500 by the end of next month. You feel me? I believe we could do it. Like I said, we're gonna be posting this content daily. You feel what I'm saying? We're just gonna be posting straight bangers. You feel what I'm saying? We just cleared up why Herb left the rack. You feel what I'm saying? We finna come back with another slapper. You feel what I'm saying? Hey man, y'all already know what I said in almost every video that I am, man. I hate fuck niggas and you don't want, you know what I'm saying? Even though I know a lot of fuck niggas. I hate fuck niggas. I know a lot of fuck niggas. If you don't want to be no fuck nigga, don't be now.
The fuck I want to say.
Start shutting the fuck up.
Yo, bitch, you start shutting the fuck up. Watch your fucking mouth.